One of the things about our carbon emissions in the UK is something like a third comes from just heating our houses and our buildings. Wouldn't it be great if we could take heat from underground and use that? The reason why we need to research this area is that although we know this heat under the ground, we don't really know how much there is, and we also don't know how fast it might replenish. We have two new research infrastructures that are worth £31 million. So the one in Glasgow, which we've just opened, is going to be looking at trying to get heat from old coal mines. So in the area of Glasgow and Edinburgh, there are many old coal mines that go down hundreds of meters, and they're full of quite warm water. So wouldn't it be great if we could take that warm water out of the ground and use it to heat schools? It would be very low cost, it would be very low carbon, very low emissions. At the Cheshire UK Geoenergy Observatories, which we are just developing at the moment, we're going to be studying other aspects of geothermal and also energy storage, and maybe also compressed air energy storage, so various different technologies. The Glasgow Geoenergy Observatory is open. We opened it recently. Cheshire Geoenergy Observatories is not yet open. We're going to be drilling the boreholes in the next 6 months to a year, and when we've drilled those, it will be the most advanced system for understanding the way that the subsurface, the underground, can provide us with energy. If we were to get the right regulation in place, if we were to be able to drill the boreholes to the right depths, we could probably get heat coming out of the ground across the city, and that would mean we wouldn't be burning gas in these schools and offices, which would mean we'd be reducing our emissions in an enormous amount. And if we can do it in Glasgow, we could do it in other cities which sit on top of coal mines, which are very common in the UK because of our industrial revolution. So what I really want is for people in the government, for people in industry and the public to recognise this value, and for policymakers, for decision makers, to help us with the right regulation. So for example, in the UK, you may not know this, but underground heat isn't regulated. So if you're taking heat out of the ground next door to someone else who's doing the same, you can take their heat. So it needs to be protected and properly regulated. I think the three things I'd like is, first of all, for policymakers, for MPs, to realise how important the underground is. If we want to get to net zero, then the underground will help us with energy storage and geothermal and carbon capture and storage. That's the first thing. The second thing is we need regulation to do that. We need the government to realise that this is important and to provide us with some rules, to provide commerce with industry and business with rules as to how to develop this. And the third thing is really to get communities together, because we as geologists don't always manage to talk to the engineers. We need something, a body to help us get the community together to solve these problems. So those are the three things I'd really like.